Hello, my name is Brenda Butler, and I am entering my third year of doctoral studies at Wilmington University. I am a part-time adjunct instructor at Eastern University located in St. David's, PA, where I teach multicultural education, urban education, and I've also taught global education. This presentation This is a presentation of my second annual Higher Education Leadership Review. This chart is an overview of the self-assessment of my development in ACPA, NASPA competency areas. My competency areas of strength include leadership, personal and ethical foundations, advising, supporting, and social justice and inclusion. The competency areas that remain a challenge are assessment, evaluation, and research, values, philosophy, and history, law, governance, and policy. Now, regarding the competency areas that remain challenging, I am a part-time adjunct instructor, and I do not have the privilege to lead and teach other colleagues or engage staff in assessment training sessions or program reviews or evaluations or planning and research, which are indicated as advanced skills in the assessment, evaluation, research, values, philosophy, and history, and law, governance, and policy competencies. Several significant factors contributed to my growth and development in this doctoral program. In the professional seminar in higher education, we completed a leadership assessment. My leadership assessment indicated that I possess excellent interpersonal skills and also known as consideration behavior, which means I focus on building relationships with followers to obtain goals. This is an accurate assessment of my leadership style. In methods of applied research and design, I discovered that the project I was working on was a longitudinal study, and the result was that I changed my research topic. In the equity and inclusion in higher education course, I interviewed a student, the faculty member, and the dean of 2 universities in Philadelphia. And they explained the difference between equity and equality and how they intentionally promote equity and honor students' individuality. In the problem-centered research courses, I completed exercises using the SPSS software. The technical challenge I tackled and overcame was transferring statistical information between my iMac and Microsoft operating systems. And ethical decision-making in higher education, I had the most interesting interview with the vice president of philanthropy at a large nonprofit organization with 25 years of experience in fundraising. And then for the next guided study course, I took African American Black higher education in the United States. And for this course, I interviewed experts in the in the field of African American history and developed a curriculum for my own African American history course that I plan to teach at some point. I organized a writing dissertation group for my cohort, and we meet weekly via Zoom. Artifacts and projects referred to in this section can be found in my portfolio account. In my professional development plan for year 2, I revised my philosophy of leadership section to include the statement, leadership is community, and that no one leader will have all the answers. For vision of leadership development, I adopted the theory on cultural intelligence as the framework for my research project and my approach to teaching and developing students' cultural awareness. A short-term goal change is that I postpone my job search until October 2021 due to the pandemic. Medium-term goal updates include teaching a course in African American studies and to serve on the board of directors at my religious institution. In fall 2021, I plan to take a guided study course in curriculum development and higher education to increase growth in AS and AER competencies. Professional associations, I plan to join the Council for Christian Colleges organization by September 2021. And I attend edweb.net webinars as part of my personal professional learning plan. Leadership reflections. How do you see yourself as a leader? I have high interpersonal skills and leading change competencies. And these are characteristics of consideration behavior, and consideration behavior focuses on building relationships with followers in order to obtain goals. I have assumed leadership roles in business management and religious organizations, and I take leading roles in committees and groups. Whether or not in a leadership capacity, I tend to assess problems and find solutions. And what has been most helpful in your leadership development? Well, understanding and embracing my leadership style, professors and assignments that challenge me to take more of a leadership role. For example, interviewing field experts and defending my points of view and advocating for others for more equitable and inclusive exposure opportunities. And what impact is your leadership having at your current institution? I am a middle leader in my large congregation, and I assess problems, I find solutions, and obtain colleagues' buy-in to support changes in our leadership's vision for the church. I encourage those under my leadership to accept and respond to new changes and challenges. I advocate for congregants and my community of accountability. And as a liaison, and I act as a liaison and I coordinate with providers to ensure that congregants in my community receive such things as shelter when needed, or clothing, food, and financial support and mental health support. And I refer students for academic support and advising when needed. What are your next steps for leadership growth and development? Well, to consult with and assist the Special Assistant to the President for Diversity, Equity, and Belonging at my institution. And in what ways, if any, are your career plans changing or evolving? And I'm interested in writing curriculum for studies in African American history and multicultural education. My goals for year 3 include applying for an adjunct position in higher education, teaching multicultural education and or African American Black studies. My dissertation plans include completing chapters 1, 2, and 3, completing my proposal defense, submitting the HSRC paperwork for my research, conducting research January through February of 2022, completing chapters 4 and 5, completing my final defense, and graduating in 2022. It's been a great 2 years. Thank you, and thank you for listening.